I hear everything one way, even though they say I don't pay attention. I do everything the same as the way I did it last time. Still you see my life is pitiful, that I'm selfish and predictable. Though I have no voice to disagree, I don't wanna change. Navigating from with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Dad Talk Today. We are here. We're doing it again. Dwayne, how you doing this morning?
Well, I'm up. I'm moving.
I'm dragging.
Got my morning jet fuel, Mountain Dew Zero, not sponsored by.
Coffee. Got my coffee.
Got the coffee. It's coffee talk.
I will
Yeah,
never
we'll
call it
talk.
coffee again. Not after going to New York and hearing those guys. Coffee.
Coffee talk.
I know I sound just as crazy to you guys, with my redneck talk. But guys, we got a very serious subject today. We are going to finish off the voicemails yesterday. If you got one that you would like to get in here, please do. 762-441-0281. Again, that's 762-441-0281. For the next couple of days, I'll probably have some replays. I got a couple of shows in the can that I'll probably get going out tomorrow night. We will not have a show, but be watching out. We will be live streaming the vigil that we're planning there in Texas. Yesterday was a flashback, man. We're starting to get the reports again. Not that they ever went away. I just haven't been able to look at them.
Yeah.
Of the dads getting killed at custody exchanges. And I know there's many of you guys watching. I mean, even last night after we got off Dwayne, numerous messages. You need to get my story out. You need to get my story out. Like, I'm afraid for my life. And we hear you guys. We hear you.
Yeah.
Give the voicemail, 762-441-0281. I mean, we're trying to give a voice to as many people as possible. And I feel bad sometimes. There's a lot of them that's like, man, I just got to get this out, guys. The Dad Talk Today support group. Write it as long as you've got to. Get your story out. There's 27,000 parents in there now that are going through these issues. And I guarantee you, most of them have similar stories to you. Get in there, build that community together, lock arms with your brothers, and encourage and empower them to speak out about this. We had some voicemails last night, guys, that, oh my God, one talking about mom was trying to hire a hitman. They said, no big deal. She was probably just playing, said, I'll kill the kids before I give them back to you. We had several other reports of guys saying, I feel like I'm going to get killed. What do I do? Should I show up? And these are some of the hardest conversations to have, Dwayne.
Yeah.
They really are, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're wanting to see your kids supposedly the happiest time, of your life, especially after what you went through, and got there. And then now you're having to worry about, imagine I'm worried about being killed, murdered at, supposedly the happiest time, the pickup not the drop off, but the pickup of getting your kids. It's that's I can't believe we're living in this world. That's that,
I can't either, man.
Don't believe it.
It is an evil, evil world. Guys, if you are in Texas, listen to me. I need your help. We are doing this extremely last minute. And I know people would probably be like, couldn't we take some more time to plan it? There hasn't been one of these custody exchange murders that when they happen, it's not last minute and you have time to plan. This is how they happen. And you got a limited window to get in there and try to report on it, because the news will go on to the next cycle.
Already did.
And then our guys get lost in the fold. So what we need is for you guys to show up. I mean, there is people, I'm going from Georgia, Dwayne, all these guys are going to be showing up, and we're putting in the effort. And all we are asking is that the community show up and do the same. share it out to as many people as possible. I wanted to say we had a donor that saw that we was going to be down there, Dwayne, and they got us a professional film crew that is going to
Wow.
be on location shooting tomorrow. They're going to be shooting this footage, and we're going to try specifically right now to show all the custody exchange murders that's been happening in Texas. If you're not familiar with the Chad Reed case, guys, there was a father that got murdered when he went to pick up his kids. The guy that killed him, he got off. And I know, I mean, it's one of those situations, man. I don't know, but Chad's wife is going to be there. And then once we started talking about this, there was more articles. There was one last month in San Antonio. There was one in Houston, and we're just talking about Texas. They're happening everywhere. But what we're going to try to do is make a conglomeration and show people how much this is happening. Go on. It's an older video on YouTube. Dad Talk Today, dangers at custody exchanges. I spent days making that, guys, finding the clips of all these custody exchange murders that's going on, researching it, trying to find out what the hell is going on here and why aren't these guys reporting it. But there is a big conglomeration to show you how big of a problem this is. And unfortunately, people say, Dwayne, you got to go educate the attorneys, the judges, the politicians, the media. They know. Listen to me. They know. They aren't trying to educate anybody, though, because if they educate anybody and this gets out there, it puts halt in their system. Their system is to get paychecks, not parents. And it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the attorneys, the legislators, the judges, they know all of this information. They are not confused, or I don't know. I mean, again, they're putting their kids through college. They're contributing to their kids' legacy funds. They're, getting their second, vacation home in Aspen or whatever the heck they are. They know this isn't about education. And again, it's going to take every person involved and not involved to come together. And guys, we all say we need to hold a march, or we need to do this. We need to get this out in the public spotlight. Eric has got thankfully, again, through liking and sharing, someone that probably wasn't affiliated or wasn't part of this saw it and said, let's do something.
Yep.
And they're going to get a professional, not a dork in a
not
camera.
Us, not our iPhones.
Yeah, not our iPhones, a professional camera crew down there. And Eric's committing to putting a lot of time. I do editing work as a side gig. He's putting a lot of time and effort into getting this story out. And again, when that professional level video comes out, that's going to resonate. Other people are going to see that and go, wow, these guys are legit. So again, all the people that talk about, oh, we need to do that. Here it is. It's a sad reason. I mean, again, Tyrone Darling, say his name. It sucks that we're even having this conversation, but you know what? Let's honor the memory. Let's get everyone out there and do what we say we're going to do.
This is what it's about, guys.
Yeah.
It's not about Eric Carroll. It's not about Dwayne Moore. It's not about our individual stories. Right now, there is a father. There's those 3 kids right there that no longer have a father. And I guarantee you, he was fighting against this abuse long before that, but he no longer has a voice. We are his voice, and we are the ones that have to carry this message forward now. So I will say to any organizations out there in Texas, leaders, whatever, you want to come, you want to be a part of it, you want your organization on it, whatever, I don't care. Do some Facebook Lives about it. Get our people out. Yes, it's last minute. These specific situations will always be last minute. There's not going to be one of these custody exchange murders where we say 2 months from now, we're going to plan it. That's when that's going to happen. And we're all going to be able to organize. Not going to happen.
No,
it's not going to happen. It is up to us to show up, man.
And that's why, and this isn't pretty to talk it about, but this, I mean, again, when this happened, you made the decision to get tickets and all that, and you did it. That's why it's so important to have people donating and having funds available to do this. And
we don't have our people show up. There's a good chance. I don't know if I'll do this again, Dwayne, because I'll tell you what, I just got a text message right here, and this is the ultimate sacrifice. Forget me coming from Georgia. But John Mass' father just texted me and said he bought his plane ticket, and he's going to be there in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude. So now you're going to have Chad Reed's wife You're going to have the family of Tyrone, and then you're going to have John Mass' dad there representing the John Mass Foundation. And guys, if you've never met him before, I'm telling you, John's family was fighters. Please, if people can come from Idaho, they can come from Georgia.
Yeah.
Show up and show out. Let's make sure that we get this out there. We are going to get to you guys' voicemails. I did see a couple of comments for those of you that didn't get to put in your voicemails. I want to make sure to read this because here's a sacrifice right here. He probably shouldn't have omitted the last part. He said he's using text to talk while he's driving. But Bradley Victor Jaquez said, my kid's mom once said to me in a text message, I wish something would happen to you and you would just die so you would not exist in my life, to be honest. It makes me happy that we use monitored exchange and have a mutual no contact order. That means I never see her in person except for the courtroom. Sorry for the spelling, but I'm using talk to text speech as I'm driving while I listen to you guys. Thank you, brother, for tuning in. I mean, but that right there should be enough to say, okay, we're taking custody away. This dad doesn't need to put up with this. I mean, these are not just veiled, empty threats here, guys. When they say stuff like that and they show malice in their hearts, that's pretty alarming, Dwayne.
Yeah. And this contentious, I mean, we'll assume it was a divorce situation or whatever. To have that hate in her heart to say those words to another person and mean it, the father of her children. I mean, just as how I mean, I've been mad at my ex-wife. I've been, there's that. And I mean, I being real, but, saying I'm going to kill you, the mother of my children. I maybe my deepest, darkest hours. I don't know. But to have that kind of hate, I mean, these are our kids. This is the next generation. These are the things that we made the conscious decision, these people to bring into the world and live our lives with and love on and do all these things, and then talk about murdering the other half and it being okay. I mean, while they're doing the custody exchange app, I'm sure it was said on the app that the court system monitors. Nothing's happened, but damn well had it been reversed, it'd have been gone.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh. Julie, she put up the I stand with John, I stand with Tyrone. Let's start getting those going, guys. I stand with John, I stand with Tyrone, I stand with Chad. We've got to keep their memory alive because I'm telling you, man, again, these are some of the hardest stories to report on because when you first report on them, boom, everybody shows up and then it just fizzles out. And now here's these fathers that they can't fight. Their families need us. They need us. And I mean, the sad thing is it could be one of us, Dwayne. It could be one of us. You're about to hear these voicemails and we're going to go ahead and dip into these because this is alarming, guys. Alarming. Legislation, attorneys, judges, police, listen. I would think the police should be on our side 100% with this. And most of them are because they're told to stay out of civil disputes and they don't have a lot of the resources to be handling these custody exchange murders, and they see the conflict that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, can you tell me how powerful it would be if the law enforcement stood up and said, hey, get some resources for these guys because they're having to use us and it's not effective. I think most of them would tell you that.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, we had the thing earlier this year and I spoke with the sheriff. He said he was not aware, which I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I showed him the data that shows what happens with custody interference and things like that. And now that he's been educated, he is taking steps to fix that problem. We will see what happens, but he is taking steps. I mean, a lot of the police officers, they know. I mean, they get shown the law. They get shown all this just for that part of it. But for, this, they don't want to have to come up and, notify next of kin that, you've been murdered and, or, they need to, drop the kids off because the parents have been murdered at these things. I mean, this is real life. They don't want to be doing that. And, if they start seeing this, we get out in the front. And I had another crazy thought, last night, and, I'm mad, but I try to see the good in it. But they did mention Tyrone Darling being murdered on our local Fox News channel, not national, but local, one time. And I went, why? Just once. That's where they should have had a half-long special. They should have done more. But then I thought, you know what? this is probably one of the rare times it shows up on the news, even local, because again, it happens all the time and you never hear about it. And I watch the news. And then two, I went, you know what? I wonder why it showed up on at least that one episode. Probably because someone is sharing this content and it's getting out there, and these people are seeing it,
It
and they're
shames
like,
them.
yeah, yeah,
It shames them.
perfectly stated. Yes, it shames
I mean,
them.
that's it. And it's like we could have reported on that story that's in our backyard, but we've got people on a podcast getting bigger ratings than we are because they are reporting our news.
We're
So
doing it.
let's get it in there and see if we can get some attention for it. I mean, the fact that you're not going to hear any more about that, I'm just going to give it to you honest, Dwayne. He was black on the wrong side of town, and he was a dad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason.
You might say that doesn't have nothing to do with it, guys. It does.
Oh, it
I'm
does.
telling you, it
Again,
does.
last week they had a situation different, but they had an Amber Alert, APB. They had I think a 2-hour news conference on that particular situation. Again, it was different, but the amount of news coverage of, and again, another situation, Athena was a murder that occurred here with a FedEx driver.
What happened with that one? I did see
Yeah.
on some of those pages, Athena, and I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get all these stories out. Tell everybody what's going on with Athena, Dwayne.
Well, Athena was up north. I'm trying to remember the I think it was in Wise County. Again, alleged. I don't know for sure, but anyway, then it gets bad, worse, and then even worse. They had a FedEx driver. He pulled in to drop off a Christmas present. Sadly, it turned out the Christmas present was for the little girls. I believe a 7-year-old girl. And when he was backing up or pulling out, he accidentally hit her. Well, he freaked out, and the guy grabbed her, pulled her into the FedEx truck, and was just driving with her. And she was they had video inside the FedEx truck, and while they were in there, and this is the part, as they're talking, she goes, "I'm going to tell my daddy what happened, that I got hurt," and he strangled her and then dumped her body. I'm not giving this guy it's not even a pass, but
No.
He freaked out, didn't know what to do. He probably knew it was going to happen to him in some way, and it could have been avoided, but he murdered her and then dumped her body next to a ravine out in that area. And then they arrested him. It's horrible. But I thought about that, and they talked about the mother, and rightly so. But we were talking about this the other day. What about the father? The father lost a daughter.
Why didn't he just say something? Accidentally, look, I'm going to be honest with you, Dwayne. I was at one point in time when I was the ice cream man, and I had to deliver ice cream to the schools. As soon as the kids saw ice cream, they would start just running beside my truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I always got so nervous, man, because I got to back this truck up into the dock. But there was times I stopped my truck, walked around it, and if they was there, hey, I need you to go stand over there.
Right.
But accidents happen. Right. Accidents do happen, especially, I mean, these are man-made things, and man-made things are going to have, errors with it.
Right.
But that is just disgusting, man. We do have somebody else on here with us that does have some information on this case, though, guys, with Tyrone. So I'm gonna bring her up.
And again, this is all allegedly.
Good morning.
Hey, Lola.
How are y'all?
Doing okay.
Okay. How about you?
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
I'm studying for finals. I look a mess, so I'm sorry, but I put a
We
photo
can't even
up
see
there.
you.
Yes, I put a photo up there instead. How about that?
Okay. Delilah, tell us a little bit of what's going on with that case. We're live on here. I know you've been down there. You know the area. You know a little bit about what's going on. Can you give us some updates as to what you know at this moment?
Yeah, so this is right in my backyard, and this is a custody exchange gone absolutely wrong. The father was actually going to meet the mother to drop off the child so that he could go to work. He was actually on his way to work. He is a father of 4. This was his youngest baby. When he got to the location, the mother of the child got out of the car, started a verbal altercation. At that point, according to the police reports out here in Arlington, which are not on the news, obviously, the mother's, what people thought was a boyfriend, it is actually what people call a stud. It was her girlfriend. It was so they were in a lesbian relationship. She then exited her vehicle, is how the report read it. She exited her vehicle, and a physical confrontation started between the lesbian and Tyrone. The stud, I'm sorry, that everyone thought was the boyfriend. So that's where all the stories were getting confused, because that woman looks like a man. Her name is Chanel Stafford, and they are currently being held in the Tarrant County Jail. The baby mother is the one that actually shot the gun multiple times. The report said she went back to her vehicle to grab the gun, actually, I believe is what it said. And she's shot multiple times, and they fled. Her name is Tamaya
I saw that. Yeah.
sorry, Williams. Yes, and they are being held in Tarrant County both for murder. And yes, the physical altercation is what is kind of being focused on in this case, as news sources have misled the people. So they're trying to assume that Tyrone was the abuser in the case, but surveillance video shows that he's just defending himself. So.
Have you had a chance to connect with any of the family? I'm wondering, like, how are they doing right now?
So I'm connected to 3 family members, or people right there in the very close family. They're not doing too well. They're hurt and whatnot. But they're just trying to get through this, see what's next. I think everyone's relieved that there are charges filed, but you guys and I know how these cases go already. We had one in San Antonio. We had Chad Reed. I mean, we have so many of these. And we know that John Mass, we know how it goes. So I look forward to hearing back from the mother. Hopefully she will want us to help fundraise, raise awareness. Legislative session is coming up. I think it's time to write some laws out about this. Maybe the first time there is a dispute in a custody court, maybe the pickups have to be at police stations for everyone. If there's one conflict, one parent with conflict, that's it. Let's not even chance it anymore.
Well, they got to study this data, though, because like I said, at the police stations, that would be effective if the parents aren't coming in contact. If they're getting there and they're just sitting in the parking lot and police are looking and mom and dad still have a way to get in contact, we've seen it. These things are still happening at police stations.
True.
And there's no perfect solution to this. Think about that. You shouldn't even have to be doing this in the first place. But the fact that there's somebody that has so much malice in their heart, they hate the father more than they love their child and could take a life. How do these people even have custody in the first place?
Exactly. And from what we see on Tamaya Williams' TikTok, she makes some pretty aggressive videos.
Really?
And there was one that has a caption about a gun, that someone took her gun, and she was, calling them out. There was another video where she's talking about, look at this girl that my ex tried to replace me with and stuff like that. So it's not like this was some sort of self-defense case. It's literally she had aggression towards this man, even though she was a very proud lesbian. So it's kind of confusing. Like, why were you bothering him and his new girlfriend?
Well, I know one thing, like spouses, new boyfriends, new girlfriends, whatever, they don't need to be there.
Exactly.
Because I didn't even know the full story, but when we was reporting on it yesterday, I said, I can guarantee it was a boyfriend or it was somebody. And then they got in an argument, and that was exactly what happened. We've seen the story before. They just keep repeating themselves. They're repackaged with different names in different cities.
Exactly.
And yes, please let the family know we are there. If we need to raise some money to help with a burial or whatever, we are coming down there with them. I was telling them right before you got on the show, John Mass' father just reached out, said he's got a ticket. He's flying down from Idaho. Chad Reed's wife is coming down. We want to show people, and because here's the important thing, it's not a one-off. They will report the story and just act like, oh, there was a bad incident here. All right, now let's go report on something else. No. There's a lot of those incidents going on. You need to stop moving on from it. At what point do you stop reporting and say, what can we do in our community to make sure this doesn't happen anymore? And I have to say it. I believe Delilah, Dwayne, you guys will agree with me. I think it all stems from this broken system.
Oh, absolutely. In Texas alone, we have 3 major cases that we've been reporting on, but that's just 3. And that's in the last year. Imagine how much we have 2 in the last week. So it is a broken system. It shows it right there in the history of what's going on.
There is so much of it happening, but like I said, trying to find statistics and data on this, a lot of people might not know it. There's parts of the system that does really good jobs at keeping this type of information suppressed.
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
and
I
there's
know
a reason why
firsthand.
guys aren't reporting domestic violence and other stuff, because nobody does anything about it.
Exactly. No one cares.
No one cares. We have
They
got
actually
to start-
feed on them. They feed on it.
They do. I mean, because it makes money. So we
Yep.
have got to start empowering our guys to get these stories out. And I got several voicemails. Delilah, do you want to stick on here with some voicemails with us, or do you got something to do?
Yeah, I got another about 10 minutes.
Okay, we're going to get to some of these voicemails and we'll go around and give our thoughts on them. Guys, keep them coming in. 762-441-0281. Here's our first caller of the day.
Hi, guys. Tom Mack from New England. And I just wanted to say, obviously, child support varies from state to state on a percentage of what you make.
I'm going to go to the next one. We'll get that. It sounds like that was one on child support. All right.
My name is Matt. My case is in Virginia. I live in New Jersey. When I show up to pick up my son for our agreed upon exchange, I fear every time that either the police are going to be there or his mother is going to rage at me for something that I have no idea about. He continues to not communicate and not co-parent, and it is frustrating to get to a place where resolution and peace is happening. I wish luck to all who are going through this same struggle. Thank you.
All right, guys. I mean, a couple of thoughts going through my head with that one. You know, if there was a woman that was going through domestic violence or felt afraid and she reported, they'd do something about it instantly. But here is this guy. He's talking about this, and what? You know, and so they give a one size fits all when it's a man that's going through this. You just need to learn to get along with them. You need to learn how to communicate, work out your differences. Look, these are people that will find something to get mad about. They're going to find something to have arguments about. It's not just that easy. I mean, maybe you guys see it. Is it just as easy as communicating and getting on the same level?
So one thing I heard from him was that he fears that. And what you mentioned about how this is domestic violence, that's exactly what happened to us. We actually got a safe haven to say that her using police against us at pickups, at school events, at multiple events, putting us at risk, sending state agencies after us, was putting my husband's life at risk. And then I have this in an email. The Mansfield Police Department began pursuing it and then wrote back that the Ellis County DA's office told them that it was a child custody battle and not to worry about it, even though the safe haven said my husband's life was at risk for homicide because she was using the police like that. So his fears are absolutely valid, and especially when they're not communicating. That already shows a conflict. You can't even communicate for your child's best interest.
I know. I mean, and that's you know, this again, the sad thing is, like, I can tell Tyrone was sounding off the alarms, you know, way sooner than when this happens, but nobody listens to what the dad's got to say until he can't talk anymore.
And that's why it's so important that we get this out and start raising awareness. The legislative session is here. It's time to push back on these things. They've ignored us, but we have enough fathers gone and hurting children.
Absolutely. We need to get every single one of those cases in front of their face. Dwayne, you got any thoughts on that last call, man?
I mean, echoing what you both said, I mean, both stated, I mean, perfectly. We've got to get this out. I mean, of course, you know, I'm looking at it with the, you know, when she mentioned that the DA, district attorney, you know, just said, not an issue. Don't worry about it. And it kind of, you know, triggers me a little bit because we had fought here locally to get a district attorney that was going to fight for these rights and do the right thing instead of the status quo. And unfortunately, I wish I had a happy end to that story, but people were so concerned over party or just doing, you know, what the status quo and everything. They all want change, but then no one really showed up to make that change. I mean, for people out there, I mean, your local elections, the district attorney is a powerful position, and you just heard what happens when you elect the wrong one. and again, I know you've mentioned, I mean, we've talked about it, that, this whole, pushing hard on the legislative staff because they were going to fix the problem because we're going to show them these stories. Again, they don't care. But
No.
enough stories get out there, enough people get involved. It shows up on the news enough times. Sadly, that's what it's going to take. Everyone getting involved, everyone locking arms, everyone pushing to get this done. That is the only way this is going to get, we're going to fix this problem.
You basically got to back them up into a corner.
Yeah.
It's like, as much as we don't want to address this, we
Peacefully.
don't want to change the laws. It's happening so much, we can't sweep it under the rug anymore. There's no way to put the cat back in the bag. It's out, and guys, it's coming. We've got to get the exposure and awareness out about that, because I do believe our guys can do this. I really do. I'm going to get on to the next voicemail, 762-441-0281.
Eric, and to all you fathers out there, my name is James Hedrick. I'm in Iowa. Like all of you, maybe some of you mothers as well, I've been alienated. I've been forced into a position I never wanted to be in. False allegations after false allegations, period. That's the end of that story. This morning, we lost another life, such as John Masts. God rest his soul. God rest Tyrone's as well. I've been in that position where I felt that way, where I'm worried about my life. Matter of fact, I had 5 robberies happen to my farm after the separation, and they were linked. And it's a broken system, y'all. I urge you and pray for each one of you to reach out to one another, to stay with Dad Talks and Eric Carroll. I mean, Eric, you go above and beyond, man. I cannot thank you enough for what you do in bringing awareness to this. But we all need to stand up. Even more so, call your representatives. Tell them we're tired of not being treated fairly. There is no male entitlement. This is a designed system to erode our moral fabric in this country, as well as our godly fabric. I know all our relationships can't work, but it's all too easy these days to quit. It's all too easy these days to lie. Y'all be good. God bless me. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, and you have someone to spend it with. Please find someone to spend it with. If not, get a hold of me. Get a hold of Eric. Find a way. Don't spend it alone. Love y'all.
Dude, amazing caller. Thank you so much. And, I think one of the things I was thinking about when he's talking about this, of course, he's talking about the dangers at custody exchanges, but we're not just talking about murders that happen at these custody exchanges. One of the big things that happens is the false allegations, right? If there is no supervised custody exchange, they can make any allegation they want. And if they're upset, oh, they did this, and Christmas time is going to be the worst time for it, because they don't want them to go with the parent for the holidays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He brings up a great point about, he was talking about his ranch being robbed or broken into 5 times. And that's another layer that we ignore. These people that are already not bringing children to see their fathers are damaged property. We constantly hear about cars being keyed. We hear about windows being broken, doors being broken, jobs, people showing up at jobs. And just there's like a slurry of problems after these divorces, and we're acting like it's not happening. And suddenly cops can't figure out 5 robberies on the same place. So he brings up a good point about that. Like, if this is happening, I start getting uncomfortable myself going to pickups.
Oh, yeah. It feels like that bully back from school. At least back then, you could tell your teacher, you could tell your parent, or somebody would listen to you. They have the sad thing, the people that are doing this type of abuse, guys, are the ones that have custody. They're the ones that have the control. And so they can just sit there and keep prodding you because they're trying their best to get you to react. So as soon as you react, they can take it and throw it all back on you. That's what they do. Take it all off of me and put it on you. It is really an extreme evil. Getting his ranch broke into 5 times. I'm sure this father knows there was probably something related to that. What's your thoughts on it, Dwayne?
Well, I mean, you nailed the bully thing, and James, thank you for calling in. felt for a second. I was like, man, my job's I'll be out of job because James did such a great job. I mean, articulating a lot of different parts of this. But when you talked about the bully, that's it. I mean, they get more and more emboldened. They have the law on their side already. They see, like, when they make that accusation. I mean, one, there's, it's out in the news. And they go, well, if I make this false accusation, we'll kind of play it out and see how it works. And then they see all that positive response. Oh, you sweetheart, or sorry. Well, let me give you these resources. Let me do this, and they're like, all right, this worked. And then they do. You know what? I'm not going to let him get his kids today. And then when that works, I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to do this, and then nothing happens. They're like, all right. And then they go to your farm and steal something or commit vandalism or whatever happens. And then when nothing happens, they go, I mean, how does a bully operate? A bully didn't walk into your third grade class and take your milk money and drink your milk and beat you up. No, he'd come up and smack you on the back of the head, and well, no one did anything. You didn't do anything about it. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something else. And it doesn't stop until you kick their ass out on the soccer field in 10th grade.
Absolutely.
He knows who I'm talking about.
As long as they don't see it, they are
acting
like it didn't happen. And even with surveillance video, Tyrone's case does have surveillance video. So thankful for that. But not everyone has that option.
No, they don't.
Body cams have surveillance. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I mean, again, the initial reports and probably the narrative is going to be that he caused it. I'll be honest. I mean, I've been in this forever. When I saw the report about the girl got out of the car and got an altercation, I'm like, oh, he probably maybe started hitting her or whatever. I mean, I'm pro dad all the way, but I'm even going, well, maybe that. But thank God there was that surveillance that it sounds like it showed that he's just like, hey, look, get away from me. And then, it escalated from there. So, I'm glad that was available.
Funny you say that. In fact, the words of the report said that he was doing just as they had agreed. So it showed him in a good light. He was trying to go to the exchange. He wasn't late or anything. Well, as far as we know, but he was doing his part. He was trying to co-parent and be non-toxic.
Right.
Well, he was on his way to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes, he was.
Pay.
I mean, he was literally pushing the baby in a stroller, you guys. This is just sickening.
Yeah.
That is the part that just pushing a baby in a stroller. How could you do that in front of a kid? That kid's going to have damage for the rest of their life. Even though they're young, there's a lot of things they probably forget at that age. This is one that would probably stick around, and I feel bad. I didn't know. I've been saying 3 kids. So Tyrone actually had 4 kids.
That is what I'm told, that it's 4 children. Yes.
Oh man, I feel so sorry for that family, man.
And I was told that by family. A few people have corrected news articles saying 4 children. So I do believe it's 4.
Yeah, that was one thing we tried to put out very early on, is like, as these stories are developing, we'll try to get the details. And if there's something that we reported on wrong, we will correct it. And I'm sure that this is going to be a developing story that we're going to continue to get more information on. But we are standing with Tyrone, just as we stood with John, just as we stood with Chad. We're going to get this out there. Delilah, you got time for another voicemail?
I do. Let's do it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Keep them coming in.
The trooper.
762-441-0281.
Hello, again. This is Billy in Arizona, and I was watching your show, and I saw that man Dakota Lane's comment about feeling threatened with, to the point where he felt he had to go and learn his way around a weapon. Well, I don't know about that. I've carried most of my life, and I do know what it is like to be threatened on the opposite end, where people make false claims that they are afraid for their own lives. My wife threatened to do that to me almost on a daily basis until I left, and to tell you the truth, I'm really even afraid to even try to go around or even see my children in that manner. I'm a whole state away from them now, because just being there gives a person like that the opportunity to do so. And I do know how the law reacts in that manner. Well, that's about all I have to say. Thank you again. Have a good day.
I appreciate that, gentleman, for saying that, because that's probably the elephant in the room. How many of these guys are probably not taking the opportunity because they're afraid of what's going to happen and that nobody's listening to them? I can guarantee you there is many of them. They'll be considered the deadbeat because they're not trying to see their kids, but nothing that they tell people of what's going on are they listening to.
I
And
actually saw a comment and screenshot it, a father saying, that's why you just leave these ones alone until the kid is 18. It happens for sure. Someone commented that and I screenshotted it because I wanted people to see that men truly believe that that's the answer. And I mean, they're thinking about their lives and their children's lives.
are they wrong?
They're not. I mean, morally, there's a lot of layers. Would you rather have a father after this person turns 18 or have no father for the rest of their life?
Well, that and it supports the narrative, though. I mean, when that happens, the mom, oh, see, your dad doesn't want to be in your life and all that. When in actuality, he was afraid of dying. He was scared of for his life, or with the false allegations and all that. I mean, when that happens, you get a felony. You get, shame. I mean, it just destroys you. You go to prison in a number of cases. I mean, I'm built for prison.
And another thing is everyone was concerned about why an Amber Alert was not issued in Tyrone's situation, because we just saw this case in June, also here in Texas, and they instantly issued it when the father shot the mother. So we see that difference as well when the roles are switched as well. So men are losing either way.
They are. And I mean, we can tell them to wear bulletproof vests. We can tell them to make sure they get cameras. I mean, but the thing is, no parent should feel threatened when going to pick up or drop off their kids at all. And I'm having a very hard time, guys. I mean, and this is playing off on the screen. So many people want us to promote this system and like how to fight inside of it. There's people out here that can fight it tooth and nail, have one of the best cases. They know the case law. They know everything. And it's a losing battle. It is a losing battle. There is nothing about this system that I know I want to promote. Now, there are some people that's gotten some good results inside of it, but there is some that they were marked the second they got in there. And so how do we distinguish which one's going to be which? You can't. You can't. We have gotten to a point to where, I mean, listen, a caller is saying, I feel like I could die if I go to pick up my kids. Do I go? How can we say, no, man, you need to be trying to do that? I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Exactly. And that's
Right.
a big problem with, you'll see the fathers in groups fight over that, because some men are like, you keep fighting. And other men are like, I literally can't anymore. And the whole system just needs to be abolished completely.
All right. Family court is always going to be around. There's going to be cases where there is real domestic violence, real sexual things. I hate to say it. I mean, that's a hard one to talk about. There's going to be cases where those need to be heard. The majority of cases where it's just somebody getting a divorce never need to be in family court. They're just two people that have hit conflict and they don't want to be together anymore. And conflict isn't going anywhere, but they get into the attorneys and the attorneys ramp it up because that's how they make their money. And that's it. They know that system is always going to be around because there's always going to be conflict.
And that's another issue to it, is that, like in the case of Thomas Vulva, why are we hearing criminal offenses like sexual abuse, physical abuse in family court? Why is this not being addressed in the criminal court like any other case would?
Oh, and that was a different. I'll tell you why. This was a mother that was alienated, guys. Okay, this is one of the ones. I know some of the cases, I'm like, that one, oh my God, she went through pure torture and her kid ended up dying. But I think why? Her ex was a cop. I'm going to be honest with you. Her ex was a cop. He got off with second-degree murder. This is a guy
17 CPS cases closed against him.
And that's what I was talking about, Dwayne. New York. They got some of those other things going on out there, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Guy got away with second-degree murder. His son died of hypothermia. And if I'm not wrong, guys, it was so sick that he had left his son out in the garage. He had left all his kids out there. The one died from hypothermia. And when he found him, he tried to soak him into a bathtub of hot water to get his blood to make it look like he had just passed away.
Yep, correct.
I want you guys to think about that. This is a father that, where do you got to be in your mind? And then, but think about this, guys. He was also married, I do believe. So there was somebody else there that knew it was going on, and they were both doing this. I mean, we've seen the trials of Gabriel Fernandez on Netflix and the things that little kid went through. There's going to be these cases. And that's why I say there's always going to be a need for court. The majority of these cases are just people that don't love each other anymore. They don't want to be together, and they could get along if you made equality. It would force them to co-parent. We're not saying that you got to force them to stay together, but
Right.
at least tell them, do what's in the best interest of the child. That really is in the best interest of the child. If mom and dad get along and they both do their part, right? I mean, do we have to complicate it any more than that?
Exactly.
That's it.
The problem is that it's money based.
It's money based.
The incentives.
Yep.
It definitely is.
Yeah, if there was no
Delilah,
money,
you want to hold on for one more?
I'm here.
All right, guys, we're going to keep them rolling in. 762-441-0281.
Well, I'm going to go as anonymous because, truth be told, don't no one care about the situation. And I guess it takes for someone to be shot dead in order for someone to make an uproar. But, you know, fortunately for me, that wasn't my story, but the same story resides. I was dropping off my daughter, and her, the mother of my child boyfriend, came around the corner and shot me twice. This guy had on multiple occasions put his hands on my daughter, and one time hit her in the face with a belt buckle. And even with all of that stuff going on, God even turned himself in. I don't know what was going on with that Dallas policeman. Maybe she had something going on, but they failed me, and nothing happened. And this guy's still walking around here free. And, you know,
What?
that's just the sad thing about this situation.
He did say
And,
he was
you know,
shot,
as
right?
an educator
He turned himself
down
in.
Texas, you know, it really hurts to know that no one.
Did he just say Dallas, Texas?
If he did, I hope he finds me and reaches out to me
I-
because I want him to know I care.
Yes.
The first thing he said was, "No one cares."
No one
I
cares.
care. Like,
And-
I believe I may have met this man, but if not, please find me, Delilah Crosby. I would love to connect. I am out here in Dallas, Texas.
We want to hear from you. Make sure you're right on Facebook and mention this video. I want to get some more details on this case. This is one of the ones that went through it and lived to tell about it. And it doesn't sound like anybody's listening to him. That's a powerful one to put in front of the legislation, isn't it? Oh,
He
dude,
got
I
shot
didn't
twice.
even finish the voicemail.
Yeah,
He
he
got
got-
shot twice
Twice.
by the boyfriend.
Right, by the boyfriend,
By the
and
boyfriend.
nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
He turned himself in. Yeah, he said, I did it. Again, that's that brazen and bold, and nothing's going to happen.
Oh, man, dude. Let me
Oh.
roll the rest of this.
It's behind me.
And it's like he does it because he knows
All the
the
good I do want to
protected.
hear, but it's all good. Have a good one.
Okay. It was right there at the end. Oh, man, dude.
We
I'm
care.
gonna save that one. So I
Yeah.
hope I don't replay it. I'm gonna save that one because I want to come back. Shot twice.
Yeah.
We say nobody listens to him until they're dead. I guess that is a very valid statement because
It's
here's a
worse
guy
than
that
that.
got shot twice.
He got shot twice, lived, and no one cared.
I'm still here in shock, but it pisses me off that the first thing he said was, "No one cares," and it sounds like he truly feels that way.
Delilah, we've been hearing that for the past several weeks. Guys that come in here, they'll tell their story. You can tell they've been fighting tooth and nail, and before they get off, you know, I guess maybe it's my fault and I need to be a better person. Right? And they are beating themselves up because they can't get any resolution anywhere else and feels like nobody's listening to them. And so they start thinking, it must be my fault. And I don't care what parent. I mean, if you're going through this and you're getting these false allegations, parental alienation, you can know how crazy the situation is, but the guilt of not being able to see your kids and feeling like, did I do everything I can? It makes these guys just start to feel they have the consequences of a guilty person, right?
Yep.
Let's be honest. They feel like beaten up guys who nobody cares about. And it's not fair. They wonder why the mental health for our men is the way it is in this country. This is why the suicide rate is 7
I was
times
just
higher
about to
in
say
men.
that.
Yep.
I was just about to bring it to that as well. The suicide. Society carries this like if they commit suicide, it's because they were guilty of something or because they were deadbeat. No, it's because they could not fight. No one cared, like they're saying.
Yeah.
Well-
The gentleman that called tomorrow evening, we're again getting the details together. We're having a vigil for Tyrone Darling. We're again finishing it, trying to get everything put together. But please do everything you can to be there.
You'll be a speaker.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get
heard
to speak.
Man said it right there. Be there.
You live to
make sure
tell
you
it.
get
You
speak.
deserve to have your voice heard.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it right in front of the police department.
Yeah. Maybe they'll care now. I'm getting pissed.
Oh, dude, we still got more. We still got more, guys. Keep them coming in. Your voice is being heard. And
Okay,
this
last
is what,
one, and then I'm gonna go take that final one step closer to representing these fathers.
okay. Awesome.
Yeah, Delilah, I don't know. I mean, tell me to shut up, but what are you doing currently? Yeah, well, I'll just put what are you going for currently? What's your I mean,
So
you're-
I
you're a-
currently am studying pre-law. I'm about 7 courses away from heading to law school. My goal is to represent fathers. You know, I love Melissa Isaac, so I plan to be just like her over here in Texas, and maybe me and her can combine and make this countrywide at some
Powers,
point.
yeah.
But we plan to do the same thing, represent fathers, fix this, because clearly Ellis County has shown me they're scared of me. So I'm doing something right. Might as well make use of it.
There you go. We
Thank
need
you
our
for what you're
people to
doing.
fight back. Let's keep them rolling, guys. 762-441-0281.
Hopefully you can get it on the show. Long story short, and I did post it in the comments, my ex and I are both alcoholics. I've been clean 2.5 years. She's been clean 3 years, but she's refusing to change the custody order, which was put into effect 6 years ago. I didn't fight it because if I did, he would have been put into foster care. But now that I'm trying to fight it, she will not budge. So how do I change that?
All right. Well, that was a little bit of a different one there, man. But I mean, look, I think I was telling you about some of my past the other day, Dwayne. You know, I was one of those guys like, look, man, we mature, we grow up. Go and show, like, look, this is what I've been doing, right? Everybody deserves that second chance. And if you both got that much sobriety on there, like, you're still probably working on it. A lot of addiction happens up here, right? So as you guys heal, hopefully you'll get the tools that you need in order to be able to do this. I would definitely suggest try to find some way to get on one-on-one with the parent. I know sometimes that doesn't happen, but you don't want to go to family court. That's my best thing. I'm not going to promote the system. You guys got any advice for the gentleman you just heard from?
Well, with Delilah on and studying what she's studying, we have to say that we're some of us are almost attorneys.
Yeah.
But Delilah, thoughts?
With this one, it sounds like it's one of those cases you notice in court, like when a mother is doing cocaine. I have seen these cases. They are given treatment and help, and they still get custody and all that. But as soon as you're the dad, that doesn't go in your favor. So like you guys said, it's always better to keep it out of court, but it sounds like he may not have that option, considering that she's not budging. So it's better that he just documents all his sobriety, what he does, that he continues to do that. And then any failures on her part, he needs to be documenting those things. But at the end of the day, it is the child being affected. So he might have to file for some sort of visitation if he's not getting any.
Yep.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, it was interesting. So they were both alcoholics. Again, we talk about equality. They were both alcoholics.
Yep.
But she got, we'll assume, primary custody. She got more time. That's why he's, trying to get more. Where's the equality?
I mean, it's a good point, man.
And
the guy is not taking up for himself. I mean, listen, he came straight on and said, look, I had a problem. She had a problem. This is it. Doesn't sound like he's trying to hide from the problem. Where is the equality in it?
We actually see a lot of cases where the fathers are told that during their visits they cannot consume alcohol. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
interesting to me. And it's like you post a single picture and these women are like, oh, you can't see your child now. Sorry.
Oh,
And
God.
you're like, scared, are police about to show up?
Trigger moment. So when I was going
Yeah,
through my
me too.
divorce, I know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on a tangent. I received, and I didn't really back then, I didn't really drink, but when I got my custody papers, it was 50-50. It was a that rare situation, but it said you cannot consume alcohol, and I'm like, weird. My ex-wife didn't get that document, and then later she actually got the kids drunk. They were 12 and 7 at the time, and I brought that to the court's attention. They didn't care. It's just nuts.
Dude, I mean, also I give a personal story too. Like, I can probably count on two hands how many times in the last 10 years I've drank. But I have been working 60, 70 hours a week after my divorce and after the breakup with the baby's mom. And a buddy of mine, it was my birthday. He said, Eric, I want to take you to go watch a concert.
Yeah.
So we do. And then that night, there's a picture of me drinking a beer, which is very rare for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there having fun with a friend. Next thing I got people sending is like, Eric, see this. That turned into me being this raging alcoholic that's going to bars all the time and sleeping with all these different women.
Of course.
I'm womanizing and everything. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The funny thing is, anybody that knows me, especially the guys, the advocates, whenever we go anywhere, I don't drink, man. It was one of those nights that I did something different.
Yeah.
But that's all they need is that one snapshot, guys. That one snapshot. And I just don't give them any ammunition.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to, so I'm about to sign off. I felt bad having my camera, so I'm going to turn it on real quick. I just wanted to say one more thing about these custody exchanges and what happens,
Yes.
and about my personal experience and why I'm fighting. So, hello, everybody. My name's Delilah Crosby. I'm out here in DFW area. I actually got criminally trespassed at a school. I mean, if she wasn't doing it at custody exchanges, it was happening at school events. And when she could not get it for years, we went through this, but it was as far as police literally detaining my husband over and over at school events. Parents were complaining that she was ruining school events by scaring the children with these actions. My husband was never charged with anything ever. And so she escalated and she started coming after me. And I think a lot of people forget, like, that is the situation that I'm told with Tyrone. Like, they are aggressive over the new girlfriends, but she was allowed to move on. She had her own thing going on, but it's like these men are not allowed to move on, and they start going higher and higher on it. And now she's having police come after me at school events. And so none of my family, none of the paternal family could go to school events. And then they sit there and say, oh, the whole family's deadbeat, and tell these children these actual things. So this is so big. It needs to be addressed because it's not just happening to one person. It is happening to entire families. My 18-year-old Aaliyah, many of you have met her. She testified last year for the Juvenile Justice and Family Issues Committee. She went through this at the school where an adult parent took photos of her and said, if you guys ever come around, I will call the police and sick them on you. And he found her on social media. She was 15 years old. And he threatened her that they better not come back on campus. So they go as far as taking it even to school events. You can't go to there was a football game where there's fathers being shot and killed. So it doesn't end. And if something's not done now, it's only going to get worse. But thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Delilah, keep us updated and make sure, like, if you can get in touch with the family, tell them we're ready to go to war for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll check in with y'all this afternoon and see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Good luck on the test and stuff.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
You too. All right, guys. We're going to get to the rest of your voicemails. It was nice. We had a female voice on here this morning. And this is what I tell you guys. We have some fierce female fathers' rights, guys. I mean, fierce.
Yeah.
And that's just one of them.
Yeah, the whole thing with people like, oh, it's just, we're just meaning or did it. No, I mean, we've shared stuff offline. You wouldn't be here literally without your spouse being there.
Let's be honest, man. As bad as we have it as like the ex-boyfriend or the ex-spouse, the stepmoms become enemy number one. They
Oh,
do. If
God,
you get a
yeah.
good one in there that's supporting you, you're supposed to be the piece of crap. And they'll reach out to your exes and everybody they can
Mhm.
to get them to come together and let's get these stories out about these guys. So here's this one that's coming against their narrative, and they become public enemy number one.
Oh yeah,
Right?
target on their back. I mean, it's yeah. You know what? Shout out to my wife and your wife and everyone's
Yes,
spouse.
absolutely.
You guys are the real MVPs here. You, I mean, you make this happen. And honey, if I haven't told you that enough, I love you. I mean, you all are the one why we're here. I mean, I wouldn't be here. I'm just gonna say it
No, I wouldn't
a couple
either, man.
ways. I wouldn't
I
be
wouldn't
here.
either.
So thank you.
After mine found out I was dating, I haven't seen my kid since.
Yeah.
I'm married to that woman now.
Mhm.
We've been together 4 years. So I don't know, but I love her to death, man. And I'm glad that all of you ladies are here supporting this. What we're seeing is these guys are dropping like flies and feeling like nobody listens to them. That's why we talk about what we talk about. Dwayne, the caller earlier, shot 2 times and nobody did nothing about it. Dad's talking about hitmans being hired. Women saying, I will kill the kids before I let you get custody. That's real shit, man.
Real.
That's real. And because those are headlines that you'll see. You'll have to search for them, but you just look up mother kills, kids. I had a family on here where they, the mom killed 2 of those kids and the whole family came on here like the next day. It was one of the roughest shows I ever had to do, man. But they needed to get those emotions out. Could you imagine the anger inside of these guys? This guy called the school, called CPS, called everybody. They did nothing. And it was a father that had full custody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Think about this. That was the father that had full custody.
They don't care.
Mom took the kid and went across the country. They did nothing.
They don't care.
No, they
and
don't.
Then yeah, and we're trying to get the word out and shine a spotlight on this happening because again, they're told shut up, sit down, and then I'm sure when when something happened to their child or something, they're like, well, they they deserved it, or they make jokes about I don't want to talk about some of the comments from yesterday during from the shooting, but yeah, we're told to shut up and sit down. Now it's time to pull that back, shine a spotlight, get that out tomorrow night. Again, working out the details. Everyone share and get this information out. Be there, and then the gentleman again that was shot twice. Get your butt to the location wherever it's at. Eric said, you're going to be a speaker. Your story needs to be told. It needs to be out.
They don't need to hear from me. You don't need to hear from I don't need to speak. I'm just there to show my support, man. I hate public speaking, but it's stories like yours that needs to be heard. And that's what we're there for, is to magnify you guys and your situations, which is what we're doing right here on the voicemails. And Dwayne, we still got quite a few of them. So let's roll them, man. 762-441-0281. Keep them rolling, guys. Here we go.
Hi, Eric. This is CJ from Texas. I was just calling on behalf of my husband. We have been married for about 4 years. And back in 2008 and 2010, his baby mama had him arrested because he tried to make her laugh by lifting her up and dropping her in the snow. It was an incident that was like no other. They were just joking around, and she called the police on him. They took him to court and arrested him. He ended up going to jail for it, and they called it domestic abuse. And so ever since then, they have been in and out of court over the years. And so him and I now have been together for 4 years, but the situation in the relationship heightened severely upon us getting together, and her and I have literally only met one time. We do not do exchanges with her. My husband's mother does exchanges with her because we fear what may come of it based on that one event that happened over 10 years ago, because the kids are now almost 14 and almost 13. So basically, my husband's size is also probably used against him. He's 6'4". So
Can
very
bet
early
that.
on, he knew better.
Oh, yeah.
So we appreciate what you're doing. And again, just be smart, Dad. This is one stepmom who supports your mission and what you're doing and is very pro dad. So be smart. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the call. So am I picking up right? Sounds like they were outside playing in the snow and he picked her up and dropped her in the snow. And then she used that as a domestic abuse case. And then it just kind of spiraled from there.
They saw dollar signs. Yeah, that was another thing that I noticed. I mean, I guess I'm an old guy. We used to fix everything with
Yes.
Robitussin, got some tussin. I mean, that was I burned my leg. That's how that's how we're now. It's like the kid coughs once, and you got to take. I got you on that one. Got
Burst
some
my
tussin.
leg. I just shipped my bed.
I just
I'm
shit
just
my
sorry.
bed. But now it's like the kid coughs once, and you got to take him to a doctor and run every test in the world on him and do all this stuff. And if they I'm having a bad day, you got to take him to 20 different psychologists and all this. Not because if not, you're going to get nailed with being a bad parent. I mean, I'm a dad. I roughhouse with my kids. There was reasons I can't walk right today. I mean, we played, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, on the couch where the kids would jump off and land on my back. And that was the kind of dad I was, a typical dad. And you can't do that. I mean, yeah, they were out there in the snow, playing around, and accidents happen. That's all part of it. Scraped knees and all that stuff. And then, sound like the ex had to make a whatever out of it and use that as leverage. I mean, it's hard enough raising your kids on your own. And then to everything that you do is under a microscope. They're trying to find something wrong. That's just not living.
No, it's not, dude. Can we get on a funny subject real quick before we get back to the
Oh, yeah.
Because that did trip me out there for a second. Have you guys ever seen the comedian Joe Coy? I had never listened to him until my wife's Asian, so everything became Asian stereotypes, and we pick on each other, and it's beautiful. We have fun with it. But he's got that thing. He was like, if you're the son or the kid of an Asian mom, everything's going to be Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah.
It's just like you got the flu. Ooh, Vicks Vapor Rub. Or just like just go put it on your hands. Going to put it here. Going to put it there. And it's true. They believe in that Vicks Vapor Rub.
They believe in that. Well, again, I was quoting from Mr. Chris Rock. Got the tussin. I mean, that off his comedy special. Yeah, when I was a kid, there's a tussin. You got broken leg, tussin. You died, tussin. It does that. I mean,
all right, guys, keep them rolling through. We're going to get back to it. 762-441-0281.
Hey, man. I'm Jeremy Dean from Tifton, Georgia.
My neck of the woods.
I felt very uncomfortable. The courts are making me meet at a gun store of my ex-wife's father's store, and I think it's very unnecessary. And speaking of, they also have some history in their family of murdering, and tried to change the location, but the judge refuses to, and I felt worried several times. But what can you do when the court completely ignores everything? Thank you.
All right, so that's my neck of the woods. I know exactly where he's talking about. And this is where I was talking about yesterday. Like, if we're in Baltimore and tomorrow we'll be in Arlington, some people might not understand the challenges of others. So he is saying that he has to meet at a gun store that his ex-father-in-law owns. Guys, I can guarantee you, Second Amendment gun store, small town in Georgia, they're friends with law enforcement. They're friends with somebody that's up in that court system. Allegedly. But if I had to bet, there's a connection there. And so this guy feels like the odds is stacked against him. It's small town, rural Georgia. And this is what goes on, man. The good old boy system. The good old boy system. You should not have to be meeting at your dude, John Mast, Justin Goolsby. Look at the stories where it was the father-in-law, the ex-father-in-law, that killed these guys at the custody exchanges. So not only are you having to go meet at the father-in-law's location, but you're having to meet at a gun store. That is wrong on so many levels.
Think of the judge that signed off on that one. Bob's gun store?
Probably goes and gets his ammo there.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a little kickback action. Yeah, it sounds like it. I can't imagine any judge in their right mind. Yeah, okay, and even the ex-father-in-law. Gun store. I mean, again, I'm a huge 2A guy.
I am too.
That one, just optics alone. I mean,
I can tell you how that small town Georgia system. If I had to bet, man, I know what that's like.
The cameras are going to fail a certain day.
Don't bring Epstein into this.
No. Clintons are from. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop that. Okay, I apologize, Lord. I apologize for that comment.
Not to bring up like this, but and neither side of that. Alex Jones, did you see that where they had him on trial and he's like, "Sir, you was talking about government officials being involved in pedophilia and this and this and this," and they was like, "You don't think that's damaging?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean like the Clintons?" And it was one of those moments like,
Oh, someone, get his memorial prepared because, that's happening. Wow.
Yeah, I should not have said that on the show.
Yeah, the
Bill,
comments of the Dad Talk Today show are not
man.
the comments
You play a
of
good
mine.
saxophone. Next voicemail, 762-441-0281.
Hey, Eric. It's Brandon from over here in Texas. Mineral
I think I
Wells.
know that, yeah.
Yeah, I've dealt with this, what you have going on, being threatened with being shot. My ex-wife would start acting up with the false allegations and whatnot. I haven't actually spoke to her in person in 10 years or something when we first split up, because I knew even back then about these allegations not being good. So whenever she would start trying to do this stuff, I would just tell her we'd have to meet at the police station. Wouldn't ever let her at my house. She'd make my new wife feel uncomfortable, doing these things. Well, then she'd want to bring her boyfriend to the police station. And she's the mayor in this town where we live, her own city council at the time.
Just talked about the good old
wouldn't want to
boys.
show her face inside the police station. So I would just stay at the end of the hall. She'd show up, and I just send the kids to the other end. Well, this boyfriend, he wants to get all involved. And
Mighty Mouse.
I sent a text to him and her parents, who were also doing this nonsense, and her, and I just sent a group text, and I said, hey, y'all just knock all this off. And, if you don't want to be involved in this text, then keep your nose out of my business. And this boyfriend confronts me. I happen to be at Walmart the next day, and I don't know how he knew I was there, but he catches me in the parking lot. And we had a pretty good discussion. I just told him, I said, look, man, your ex-wife's dead. I know that. And, you don't want me up in your business. You stay out of mine. And we kind of came to an agreement on that. But carrying it forward, her father, told me he was going to run me over at the gas station the next time he saw me. And he wanted to kill me. And then here a couple of years ago, when she started holding the kids from me, and she got 3 or 4 guys in the community to sit at her business while I was trying to pick up my kids. And I put these guys on blast on Facebook and, said, what are these guys doing? These guys are fathers. What would they be doing if this was them? And shamed them pretty good, but, it's hey, Eric.
And it cut off there, dude.
Yeah.
I know who that is. That's Mr. Brandon Johnson out there.
Yes,
in
it
Mineral
is.
Wells. Holy crap. I remember when that was going down, dude. Like, I can't get to everybody's stories, but I would see Brandon Johnson is live now, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because every time he went to pick up his kids, it seemed like something was going on. Talk about the mayors. We was just talking about good old boy America, Dwayne. Maybe you can give a little bit more insight on that situation we was just listening to.
Well, it sparked a memory, actually, on the Pissed Off Parents site and other places. You can find an article that was written about this scenario. His ex-spouse was running for mayor of Mineral Wells. She was a city council member. That's that good old boy, got the connections. How can the average Joe do something like this and get away with it? No, it's our elected officials. I mean, they're in positions of power, allegedly using influence, whatever, to make everything okay, and to do this stuff. I mean, damaging the kid and all that. I mean, yeah, the article's out there. I don't know how much Brandon wants all that out there, but yeah, this man has went through hell and back. He's a fierce fighter for the cause. He has talked about his story, but he does so much more behind the scenes, trying to get the legislation changed. And he fights for he fights for kids, he fights for parents. He's done a number of things, but yeah, what's been done to him it's criminal.
He shows up.
Yeah, he shows up.
He shows up.
Yeah, this man, he works a lot of hours and he'll finish a job. He's a working man. There's dirt underneath his nails, and he gets out there and does the job. But and then after he gets done doing a 12-14 hour job on a roof, wherever the hell he's at, he climbs down and drives to a location and screams the loudest to get this stuff done. He's an example for all of us.
It makes me feel better about myself because I know I got that thick Georgia accent, but he's got me beat just a little bit. I remember one of the first times I got to meet him in person. He said, "Eric, we're not parents, we're parents."
And
which is very true, man.
Oh yeah, his accent is awesome. Yeah, and he's like the most like calm. I mean, he if he did not go through this hell, he could live his life. I can picture Brandon sitting on a porch, doing a little Bartle and James with some tea, just looking at the sunset. That's Brandon if he had the perfect world with his kids running outside and all that. But this system has robbed him of that, and he's got to fight every damn day to get things done. So I mean, if he can do it, anybody can do it.
There you go, guys. All right, keeping them rolling. 762-441-0281. Here's the next caller.
Yes, this is Eric, and some time ago I was in high school. I had a kid, and he was like 5 years old. And then since I had married his mother, they took the kid from me. They wanted her to marry some guy down the street, so she married him. He was in the Navy, so I had custody of him. In my state, California, and he took me to another city, and with his lawyers and stuff, they took my kid and they changed his name, and I had to be escorted out of the courtroom. It was pretty terrible. I have another story, but I guess I don't have enough time for that. So I'll talk to you later, and I love you guys. Thank you very much for everything. God bless you.
Thank you, man. I was having a little trouble hearing in the background there. Dwayne, did you pick up on everything that was being said on that one?
Part of it. Yeah, I mean, again, custody, fighting, just all the stuff that goes. I mean, again, it's this. I don't want to take anything away from the caller, but his call is echoed by they're all. I don't want to say they're the same, but there's the commonalities in all of it. He wants to see his kids, he wants to fight, and then just the court system and all that, just fighting against him. And it was hard. I had to pick up every third, fifth word and was trying to piece all that together. But from what I could gather, it was, he was a dad wanting to be a dad, and the system X and all that. And he had plenty of stories to, examples, but yeah, he's
dude. Never ending. The stories just keep coming.
They've got to change. They have got to change.
They have got to change, man. Thank you for calling in. Guys, keep them coming. 762-441-0281.
Hello, I'm from New York City, and I would like to, let this Daddy Talk show expose a little bit what I'm going through. Yes, I am a father who has been struggling for 5 years within the, anti-family corrupted court system. I had my child, at a very young age. She's a toddler. Kidnapped from me from the family court and placed it under the custody of a unfit mother who was a criminal when the custody started. Okay, she was arrested for domestic violence, and the judge said on the record that she called the DA office, requested them to drop off the charge. On the same day, even though I didn't have an attorney, she kidnapped my child from me. CPS testified on my behalf, saying that I was a good father, the house was okay, they simply was fine living with me. And she took the child from me and gave back to the mother after requesting a favor to the DA office to drop off the criminal charge of domestic violence. I really, whenever I see all these things going on with, parents being murdered, I fear for myself as well, because this woman, the mother of my child, she's completely insane. She's involved with some people who do some illegal activities. And it's just horrifying. I'm trying my best to not live by fear and continue to fight for my daughter with all this strength and sagacity inside of me. But this is something that can, I believe that can happen with me as well. I'm getting close to expose a lot of stuff, regarding the mother's, some of the criminal activities that she was involved in, which she was never held accountable, because I don't have no choice at this point after 5 years being abused by the system, but to expose. And I do know that once I start to expose, there's going to be some sort of retaliation. And I am afraid that there's, the retaliation can be like, life threatening. And so anyways, that's pretty much what it is. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing, Eric. And I'm praying every day that one day we're going to be able to defeat this giant of corruption, and have, our constitutional rights protected, and justice can be served in the best, in interest of justice and for the well-being of the children who has been placed under the custody of unfit parents, abusive parents, and being. Hello.
I cut off. Yeah, man.
Okay, so domestic violence against her, if I heard that correctly.
Yeah.
Want to make sure I got that part right, because the rest of it. So the judge calls the DA, drops charges, gives the kid back to mom. Sorry, I almost blew it. I mean, what the hell? It
reminds me of the song by AC/DC, "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt
Cheap." I was like, you're singing "Highway to Hell," but
Highway to Hell too, man. But dirty deeds done dirt cheap. What do you need done up there in New York? Yeah. It's culture shock, man. It's culture shock. Even though like the tricks of the system are the same everywhere, there's always opportunity for it to get more crooked. I mean, we heard how it's crooked like down in rural Georgia or Texas, but then you go up here. I mean, it's the same things, just different situations, man. And I mean, it's hard hearing stories like that, because you hear thing after thing after thing, and it's like, whoa. And I mean, it's just showing you again, guys, working as designed. How many times, when these parents first start experiencing divorce or think they're going through family court and fighting over their kid, and like, man, I got everything I need, I'm gonna do good. And I'm just like, dude, calm down there, bud. Calm down there, bud. I know you're excited. I know you think you got what you need, but
well,
they're not exactly playing a fair game here.
That's why, teaching the younger generation. I mean, this old guy, I mean, it hopefully won't happen for me, but the younger generation needs to know this because again, that's what happens. You get a divorce or, you get served papers or get into a mommy, baby, daddy situation. And you're like, oh, well, of course it's going to be fair. They're going to do whatever. And I sat and I talked to my attorney and I paid that $5,000 retainer and he or she assured me that it's going to be a cakewalk. They don't know. It's like getting that prison picture. The first day of prison for the newbie, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then by year 3 or whatever, they're like, I mean, they got that the stare and the whatever. They just don't know, and they're being led down this path to destruction because they think they walk in. I'm right. She's wrong or she's right. I'm whatever. And because I've got evidence, I've got surveillance. Sorry. John Mash situation. He had video of what happened. The judge goes, I don't really have the equipment. See, yours is more of a DVD. I'm more of a high def guy. Can't see it. And throws it out. Would have exonerated him out of the gate. Would have been done. That's just, they do this stuff. And it's ridiculous.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it really is that manipulation. Let me sit down. You're looking for justice. You're going to come to an attorney because you don't understand the system. You think you're just going to be able to pay some money, get your kids. This guy tells you, and you need to go through this system. This is what we're going to do. This is the steps. Get me that financial statement. We're going to exhaust all those funds. And at the end, you don't have a chance, man. No. At least they could be honest with you when you first go in the office. Like, you want to spend your money on me? I can't promise you anything. I'll go in there and do what I can, but I cost a lot of money, and I might be looking at you at the end saying we did all we could do. That's the honesty behind it.
If they wanted honesty, they should. I'm talking right to dads here. If they were honest, you would walk in, sit down, and the guy would say, "Look, before you pay me 5, 10, whatever grand to retain me, here's the custody breakout, the national data we've had over the last 50 years on how custody works. These are your odds. These people paid nothing to $1 billion to see their kids, and this is the result. You've got a 85% chance that you're going to be a weekend warrior here and out. I don't care how much you pay. I don't care if she's got needles sticking out of her arm. She's involved in the mafia. It doesn't matter. 85% of the time, she's getting custody. End of discussion."
Yeah.
That is, if they were honest, that's what they would say. Because they know it.
Because they know.
Yeah.
They know. Guys, let's keep it rolling. 762-441-0281.
Hey, good morning, Eric. This is Rob from San Diego, California. We're talking about the dangers of exchanges today. I know that we're talking about a lot of pickups and exchanges that go wrong, but how about the drop-offs? Every time I drop my daughter off, I feel like it's the last time I'll ever see her for many reasons. Like some of the guys said here, I feel like the cops are going to be there. I feel like mom is going to manipulate the situation and make it seem like I've done something wrong, or just simply the fact that I don't feel comfortable with my daughter going back with mom, in fear that she might get in a car accident or make some sort of bad decision to compromise my daughter's life. It's a sad situation when you drop off your child and you feel like it's the last time you'll ever see them. Thank you guys for doing this hard work, fighting for fathers. You have my support from San Diego, California.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Wow.
Yeah, those are very real emotions. I understand it. But he's talking about, she gets, like it or not, divorced, you broke up. The kid needs to spend equal time with each parent, and they're going to raise them how they see fit. That's the fair thing to do. I mean, I thought the exact same thing, and I can provide a better house and all. It's just, like it or not, the reality that you're in is that it's two separate households. The kids spend time with both parents equally. And the houses are going to be handled differently, but I understand that I'm nervous about, if she does something, but the taking the kid and going from, was it Virginia to Arizona? cross country, that one you were telling me,
Oh,
you
yeah.
mentioned a few times. I mean, yeah, that's a very real thing. That happens all the time. And the kicker is the judge, after it's done, the judge usually signs off on it, that it's okay.
Yeah.
So those things that don't matter. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're good, man. We're going to keep them rolling, guys. 762-441-0281.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Grant here from Virginia. I don't even know where to begin. It's over a year now, and I haven't been able to establish
I'm going to pause. You just said Virginia.
communication with this mental health facility that did a assessment on my son, which I was, informed after the fact. Just to briefly, mother said that his son bites his hands, bangs his head on the wall, doesn't point, no eye contact. Basically, she Googled a bunch of autism symptoms and whatnot. And, I'm trying to talk to these providers. They don't want to talk to me. They keep telling me they'll call me back. All the while, I'm in court right now for not getting a second opinion. When I have all these recordings that prove that it's biased across the board. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to take my statements. You don't want to look at any of the videos that I've recorded over the last 2 years that prove otherwise. My son is not even 4, and I got him reading and saying words like Sept-Tuwa bicentennial. Big words. And it's because I have put a lot of time into teaching my son, and he didn't just wake up, a genius. All kids are born super intelligent. It's just how you deal with it, how you work with educating them. But here we are in court, and the whole process has shed light on all the stuff that I'm dealing with. They have nothing. In fact, she was supposed to seek mediation twice before we went to court, but what does the court do? Nothing. February up until now, and now they're still coming up with a reason or there's nothing. There's nothing here. And here we are going on $5,700 on this case right now. And it's just too much, It's just too much. I've already...
The system's working as designed.
Thanks for...
It is. You can hear the frustration coming off of that one.
Well, he's coming from it. And again, this is one of the things that really good. It's not about what's fair, what's right, and look at my evidence. None of that matters to them. It's money. The system's working as designed. It's to get you into the never-ending cesspool of this and keep blowing all the money that you could ever make in your entire life and just keep it going. That is what. And again, once you understand that, the rest of it makes sense and becomes, in my opinion, palatable. Because now instead of going into court with, well, if I just show this piece of evidence, it's going to convince them. No.
Man, Dwayne Rhodes. We'll get to some of you guys' comments on this. He said, just started watching your channel. I have no kids, but have friends, of course. I'll hold back tears listening. Stay strong, fellas. Thank you. Dude, your friends that are going through this, get it out to them. Anybody that knows anybody that's going through this system, they need to be here. We are sitting here day after day getting these stories out. Make sure that their voice counts. They're not going through this for no reason. You can turn that pain into purpose. And right now, I believe this is the generation that can change that. If we all get together and show up. You don't have to show up, but you do have to speak up. Show up here. But do show up at the rally tomorrow. We're going to talk about the rally. The rally again. I don't know yet. Dwayne was texting me a second ago. Looks like we're having a little bit of an issue trying to find somewhere to hold this thing.
I don't know. How much to kind of tell you about that, and cut me off anytime if we're doing. I want to be real with everybody.
You'll do it.
Okay, all right. You know what? Pants off. Here we go. So after we found that, my wife is an event planner. She does a million different things, but trying doing side hustles and all that, and doing everything she can. Anyway, she's an event planner, and she reached out to 11 locations that had confirmed openings. In addition to others, just trying to get all that done, and she's receiving nothing but no's. And from what it's the subject matter.
It's the subject matter. I mean, it's
I-
the same thing I was saying to you guys. You know, my dude, script writers. I had 6 different script writers turn it down. It was like, no, dads, allegations, family court, nah. And this is paid positions, guys. I mean, we were talking about we don't have none of us are rich, but we was talking about trying to find somewhere to rent, and they don't even want you in the building.
Nope.
They don't even. That's how bad this is. Now think about being in this community, and you're fighting billions of dollars with pennies, and trying to get people support us. Do you guys get any support when you go to the system? Well, I'm going to tell you, the guys out here fighting the war for you, we don't either. No. We just don't. And unfortunately, yeah, I have an audience, Dwayne, but there's the guys that's going through this crap.
We need to get this out more and more because I don't want to speak for the 11 places in Arlington. I won't name names. I'm not going to bash any companies or whatever. I'm sure they had perfectly logical reasons for it. But yeah, when we were honest about what it's about. They probably didn't feel comfortable for whatever reason. I mean, it's not talked about enough. It's got to get out there. It's got to become in a psychotic way normal to talk about this stuff. Not to hear, we're having a vigil to honor the memory of a young father that was murdered a few days ago to raise support, to be told no. Conversely, we've had the flip side of that, and there was visuals all over the place. But again, I don't want to go down the path, but we're trying still. I mean, it may come down to having it at a police station. I mean, that was.
We'll do what we can, man.
Yeah, we're going
to be there. You guys have no idea how much of my heart goes out with them, knowing that we've got the army coming, dude. Like, if you wanted generals to fight this war, they're going to be there. And so we need our troops to show up. Please, I'm asking you. It's as small as tell somebody about it, like, share, subscribe, comment. It's what we're asking. If you can financially support, I got half the money back from my plane ticket last night.
Thank you for
nice.
Everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Actually, Dwayne Rhodes gave a donation earlier. I don't know if I know Carmen's been. Yeah, he gave. So yeah, thank you, Dwayne. Boys, Dwaynes are generous, even though he spelled his name wrong.
The Dwaynes are starting to wear on me, man. They're wearing me down.
We're like a fine wine. Either that or, when I was younger, I'm going to tell a story about how poor I was, underage drinking. I'm going to go there. You buy that 6-pack of the Bud Light, and then you go to the unnamed, the beer on the can, I'm trying to figure out how to tie that.
Are you drinking Schlitz?
I wish I could drink Schlitz. That was the good stuff. This was that Blue Label beer stuff back in the day. I mean, I'd get the 6-pack of Bud Light.
Zimas.
The who?
The Zimas. You were the Zima and Jolly Rancher guy.
That actually came out a couple years ago. We had a party here a couple years ago, and we were doing that, and we remember just how horrible it tasted. But it was cool back in the 90s. That was years ago. We were more the Mad Dog 2020 and the Everclear generation.
I did that.
Oh, yeah.
That is the worst headache ever. Mad Dog. It's actually like Mogan David. It just got nicknamed Mad Dog.
Yeah, it's not Mad Dog. Yeah, I got nicknamed Mad Dog. When I was actually, I was doing some stuff for an organization, bell ringing at local Sam's, trying to get money donated and all that stuff. And the guys were all talking around, and we're talking about the history of Mad Dog 20 or MD 2020. Sorry,
that's when you know you're a dork.
That's when, yeah.
Because I know it too.
And arguing about it back and forth. No, that's what about in purple? And someone said purple. One of the girls said Purple Passion, and we're all like, oh, yeah.
Man, those are the things that bad hangovers and nightmares are made out of. I don't know what they put in. It got the job done.
Oh yeah, maybe a good bonfire. Sure.
All right, so good. We're bringing a little humor into it, guys, and it's needed. It's therapy, okay? Mandalorian showed back up today.
Oh, hey,
and her 9-year-old wants to tell a dad joke, so let's do it. She says, I have my 9-year-old daughter home today, and she has her little dad jokes ready. What do you call a sad coffee? A depresso.
Wah, wah, wah. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Thank you. Does anybody else got some?
Yeah,
Give
throw
me
some
some good jokes. I'm gonna go back through. Man, we got a ton of comments, man.
Yeah, keep
I
'em
mean,
coming.
the audience has really been interactive lately.
That's good. That's great.
It is good. It is good. You give us things to see. If you don't talk about it, we'll end up in some other direction.
Arguing the best Batman.
We was talking about the Contra Code and everything.
Contra codes, yeah. And you'll never know what you learn. I mean, you learned about Spotted Dick the other day, which we had. Well, I had to pull that one
That
back.
Spotted Dick hit me out of nowhere. I forgot about that one. You had to bring the
It
Spotted
usually
Dick back
does.
out again.
Yes. I mean, yeah. And
Uh,
again, watch.
James Edry said, they have been given 1 million reasons to use false allegations, and I can say for myself, my life is still in danger. I support my responsible, sane Second Amendment for protection specifically, not to mention the mental and moral decay in society in general is my reason enough. You know, that's a real thing right there. It sounds, and not sounds, it is anything that is moral that we used to hold dear, family included, the nuclear family, anything that used to be moral has completely became wrong. And I didn't hear it, you know, for a long time, but I started noticing, like the kids, I don't know how much they're doing it anymore. One of the things they used to say to like, as an insult to somebody was call them a boomer. It was like, oh, he's a boomer.
Oh, yeah. Kid did that to me. Yeah.
Dude, that generation is why we're here, man. Yeah, they had some funny ways, but those guys busted their ass.
Yes, they did.
And that generation should be celebrated. Yes, like I said, they had some funny ways, man, but there was a lot of good stuff that happened. And just to say that as an insult, I mean, some of you think you're wolves and cats and eat Tide Pods. These guys were over there fighting wars.
Yeah.
I should not have said that, but it's just honest, man. And it's like that's became an insult. Everything that we once hold. And dude, what happened to respect for your elders?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, why? I see videos every day of these kids like walking up to an old person, beating them up, taking their money, or doing it for fun, or beating up homeless people, or vandalizing. And I mean, I've done a little bit of. I did a little hell raising as a kid, but not to this extent. Not to this. This level of disrespect and. The culture has definitely changed.
Take the dad out the home. Anything that was taught that was moral is going to be wrong now. And when they try to come back, boomer, anything like that generation, we don't want anything to do with it. That's wrong. You're not accepting. What's crazy is they say you're not accepting. And that is the most unaccepting generation I've ever seen. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's like, they want acceptance and everyone needs to be accepted. And you go, okay, well, I don't agree with your position. You should accept that. I mean, the whole logical argument, of course, logic fails a lot of these people that have that. But Julie commented here, respect for elders. What's that anymore? Yeah. I mean, I'm 50. I'm elderly now, I guess.
I'm not joking you. When I was doing all my traveling, this is what I've done my whole life. I mean, my dad being a pastor, he was Brother Carol. Everybody called him brother. And then my mom was Sister Carol. Yeah. But I use yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
And when I go somewhere and if it's my elder, I'm talking about like, yes, sir. And there is people that literally get offended if you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. I've literally had them tell me, do not call me sir. I don't like that. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. No, sir, I won't do it anymore. I'll say it right there again. It's just ingrained in me, man.
Yeah, I mean the manners and all that stuff that were instilled in you, and somehow that happened. You were taught to be a certain way, to do certain things. That's lost on this generation. It's funny, but we can still teach. Funny kind of story, not funny story, but a story. So my wife, she hasn't opened a door since 2000. No, I mean, I hold the door open for her, the car door. I mean, she does not open a car door. And I forgot once and I got the look, but yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said, you're simping, man.
You're simping. No, it's respect. It's honoring my wife. And it's funny because we've been out with friends, same age friends, younger friends, and older friends, and my oldest when he started dating, and they would see that me doing that behavior, and the next thing you know, they're doing it. It caught
Yes,
on.
it's contagious.
Yeah.
And there is people that would hear you say that and probably say that, oh, that's some. Let me ask you a question, Dwayne. What does she do for you?
She's my world. I mean, I don't know if that's the direction you're going in, but she's my. I mean, she
He's
is
getting
there.
the tears. You can hear it.
Yeah, and she knows she's valued. She knows she's loved and protected.
She puts as much into you as you put into her.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
That's not simping.
No.
That's called equality. That's what we're
equality.
looking for in the relationship, right?
Yeah.
I'll go even further. My wife probably does even more for me at times because I'm over here fighting in the community. But that's
yeah.
the way it goes. We do for each other. I don't mind opening the door for you because I know everything else you do for me, right? We need
it's
to
a
find
team.
respect back.
You hit it. Respect. That's it. I
Respect.
mean, she's your partner. She's your equal. I mean, guys, girls, what this is what it is. I don't know what you think about Dad Talk today. First time watching, we're a bunch of whatevers. All he
Both
wants
parts.
equality. I'm treating my spouse one like I want to be treated.
Yeah.
But I'm honoring her. I'm loving her. I'm showing her respect.
You're not doing that because you feel like you have to. You're doing it
No,
because you want to.
Exactly.
The
Preach
difference,
on.
because that respect has been acknowledged on both sides.
Yes.
Both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, guys.
Yeah.
It is. Unfortunately, happy wife, happy life has been ingrained so much in society that there's just so many of these guys that said, dude, the funniest meme that I've posted this year, and I didn't make it. And you know what? I am seeing him in so many different places now. There's this guy named Xavier. I think Xavier is a made up character, but there was this woman, it looked like on Twitter, it says, do men even open up car doors anymore? And Xavier's down below it. And he says, how you think we get in? And I was like, oh my God, that is the best thing I've ever saw. It was amazing, dude. But that's it. It's about having respect. Happy spouse, happy house. That's it. Both sides need to be putting in together. And if you want a successful relationship, you can't build a house with somebody that's not helping you carry the bricks. And unfortunately, there's going to be people that don't want to do the work and they think they're the only ones that got to be served. And there's going to be times those relationships don't work.
Nope.
And when you get in one of those selfish relationships, I wanted to tell you, when you go to break up with it, they're the only ones that's supposed to have their time. Their holidays are the only ones that matter. Their family is the only one that matters. You don't matter. It's my time when I'm at work or when I'm at home. You got to do it on my time or you're not going to get it at all. It's crazy.
Well, things are blowing up. I think we struck a chord here. I keep hearing
dude, my text messages all day long. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could turn it off. It just pops up on there. I'm going to get to some more of these comments. Mr. Rob Ramos said, how about a father's reputation in the community? Every time I go to my daughter's school, people stare at me and sneer. That's one of the things, man. Like, the false allegations community really needs somewhere where they can go and support each other, which is what the John Mass Foundation is trying to do. Again, I go back to yesterday, talking to John's family. What is the one thing that you could have had? And they said, we had it. It was this community, because up until that point, we felt like we were fighting alone. These guys that are going through these allegations that are going, what Rob's talking about right here, I haven't personally been through it, but my heart's out there for you, man, because I know how deadly these allegations can be. I couldn't imagine what it's like having to show up at the school, get around people in the community, because they tell this crap to everybody, right? Look, there was a principal. He just committed suicide at Disneyland because he said the allegation, even though she's saying it's not true, it was done. It was done.
Yeah.
So, man, my hat's off to you guys that are going through that. I will say at the same time, anybody that could do some of the things that we're talking about to kids, you don't want to know what I think about you. I wouldn't have a show. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the same for a person that can make an allegation that could destroy somebody's life like that. There should be an eye for an eye. If you make an allegation that could destroy somebody's life or that could put them in prison for 20 years or the rest of their life, and you knowingly made that false accusation, you should be doing that 20 years or life. And I guarantee you, if they had those type of consequences out there for them, they're not going to completely go away, but they would be made way, way less.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, that reminds me. It's when I first started kind of cluing into just how bad it was with my ex-wife. I wasn't an active dad. I had the opportunities to show up at my kids' school and things like that, and I couldn't figure out the front desk and different people. They would sneer at. I mean, literally, when the guy said they would sneer at me. And one of my oldest son's friends, she couldn't figure it out because she would see me with the kids, and she's like, "I'm being told this." But then when you're around the kids and how you all interact, it's night and day. And so she said, this is what she's been saying about you to the school and everybody.
Right.
And what's the deal? And then thankfully, a woman reached out to me and, said, and I was able to defend myself. Mine, turned out, because it was an active process that she was going through to destroy me. But yeah, I mean, and a lot of those parents that are being alienated and all that is these people, it's everybody, whoever they can talk to, every chance they get, they will destroy you every chance they get.
We're still going to do that show. And man, I forgot to unschedule it. But ways that you can challenge the narratives, guys. That's going to be one of the most important shows we've ever done on Dad Talk, because that is going to be our way to give back to the community. You want to know how to fight against this, how to fight against this system. We got to change the narrative. We got to change the culture. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. But we've got to change that culture. And there's just certain things. Think about this with false allegations. People are so quick the second they hear it. Here comes Mighty Mouse. He's coming to save the day. Make sure you're getting both sides of the story.
Yeah.
It does not hurt you. There's three sides to the story. His side, her side, and the truth, right?
Yeah.
But which side of the story have you heard? Unfortunately, on social media, people are just so quick to react. That's why memes do so good. Somebody sees it, an emotion, they're ready to go. So somebody gets on there, they tell their sob stories, and people are ready to defend them. There's two sides to that story. And you don't want to be one of those people that was caught taken up from one of these moms that ends up taking the life of one of these guys right here.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to John Mast. It could have easily happened to you, Dwayne, from what I'm hearing in your case. Make sure they're getting both sides of the story. So we're going to get this stuff out to you guys and show you how to start challenging these narratives. This is a lot of work, but if everybody pulls in, as we was talking about financial troubles before we get on the show, if one person tries to fund this movement, they're never going to be able to do it. We need Elon Musk. Elon, please, I'd love to talk to you. Okay.
Drop
I
off
can do a lot with a very little, but if everybody here, a page of 600,000 between this and Instagram gave $1, dude, within a couple of months, I'm telling you, the family law system would be ready to go hide in a corner. They would be ready to hide. I've had plans for a long time, but it's the same thing with the narrative. That's not to get that on my, it's the same thing with the narrative. If you start putting this out there in the culture and telling people how to change that culture, how to challenge it, it will be the same thing. And imagine 600,000 people doing that. And then how many people is that 600,000 going to reach? And then so on and so on. We've got to start changing up the questions and making people think what it's like to go in your shoes. Paul Boyette said, I've been locked up 3 times for 3 separate orders of protection obtained on false allegations. This last time it was proven and nothing happened to the mom. Nothing.
Oh, God. Trigger moment.
I mean, dude, I get it. I mean, but seriously, nothing happens to the mom. He can go through all this based on an allegation, but if he can get proof against her, what happens?
Nothing. Oh no, we can't hurt the mom. Yeah, growing up, little family time story here, but growing up, a little thing about me. There was, I count the days, and I have the reports, but my mom would call the police on my dad right as he got home, saying that he beat her up. Again, she looked perfectly fine. Nothing was out of place. No, nothing. And the cops would show up and take him to jail. He would spend the night in jail. They would let him out and he would go to work in the morning. Did that 30 days in a row. I was lucky in mine. My ex-wife, she tried. I had recorders going the entire time. And this is in Texas, which is weird. But there was 3 officers. They had a little salt in their hair. They could see what was going on. And they actually told me to take my kids to a hotel for the night. And they left my ex-wife at home. but they told me to. I mean, and again, let you know just kind of what was up. But they told me to take my kids to a hotel room for the evening. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes. Sorry, got locked up. It's another thing. I mean, these false allegations. I mean, they're ruining lives, and there's cash and prizes for it. There's no
There
consequences.
is. I
Cash
mean,
and prizes.
we've seen videos of the attorneys telling everybody,
them.
if you want to win the case, just make sure that they can get a false allegation in there. I mean, it's on video. You can fact check us all you want. I will provide you the video. We've seen it, and it's become that tactic inside a court.
Yep.
And the fact that they could say that these type of allegations is a court tactic, what does that say about the attorneys? Right? There are some good ones out there, and that's why I want to bring up this comment right here, so that way we can show we are fair and we present the whole side of the situation. Okay. Wood Boys Towing on Facebook said there should be lawyers that will help dads that can't afford lawyer fees. All right. Let's get into this. Most of these aren't guys that got into family law because they said they are going through situations like you and they want to make a difference. They get in there because they think an attorney that makes really good money. I'm going to go through law school. I'm going to get in this. Then they get in there and many of them see, holy crap, it's the Wild West out here. So you got two choices. You can try to do what's right or you can make money. Okay. Most of them got there because they want to make money. They done went through law school. They done all this. It's their career. So getting them to talk out on this system, they ain't going to do it. At the same time, I will say this in defense of attorneys. If they got to have a building, they've got to have a staff. They got to look over these documents and stuff. They do have to charge, guys. And it's not that people don't want to help your situation. Look at how many calls I have gotten just over the past month, right? Those are all people going through these situations that need help. And there has been days that every single one of them has sent me their court documents. And if I don't get back to them, somehow I'm doing something wrong. We can't do it.
Yeah.
And attorneys, there's some of them that are going through a lot of the same thing, even the good ones, because I do know some of the good ones. And people just expect them work on my case for free or you're a fraud. No, they got a life. They got to make a living too. The problem is what some of these people are charging and where their heart's at, right?
Yeah.
The good ones are a very select few. Very
select. I mean, very select few. Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the lights on. I mean, again, you're doing this at personal sacrifice. This show, all the other outreaches that you do, Christmas for some dads, flying down for Tyrone. I mean, you've got to put food on the table. You have a family as well. You have to work your 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You have all this. You're doing this because you want to help the community. For attorneys, a lot of them. Well, I'll say a lot. Some start out as activists. Delilah, I mean, I don't think she woke up wanting to be a family law, attorney.
No.
Yeah, she wanted to be something else, and she saw this is something that needs to get fixed, so she's in it. You have a lot of them that get into it, and then when they find out that, because again, this system is so crooked, whoever gives the biggest contribution to the judge gets the favorable treatment. The ones, I mean, think about it. You're an attorney trying to do the right thing. I mean, look at some of Melissa Isaac's things and the sanctions that she's received because she's like, I don't care. I'm fighting for the dad. I'm going to get this done for him. And the judges hate her.
Connie Regularly. I think she just went to jail not long ago. Yeah. I hate to say that. I didn't mean to say that about you on the show, Connie. But yeah, dude, the ones that actually try to fight back, the bar and the system, they hate them.
Yeah.
They hate them. And then what happens? They need you guys backing them just like we do. Because then they get all of the people that don't want the system to change and all that money and all them lobbyists. They want to pull their license. They want to pull everything from them. And that's what they do is they cancel you. So again, that's another reason behind building this network. I think more of them would step up to the plate and do stuff if we had our guys here to back them. And I'm going to tell you what ends up happening, Dwayne. They do it and they do it for the right reasons. And then it gets to a point to where people just expect so much out of them and they can't afford to keep the lights on and they say, I'm done.
Yeah.
They go do something else.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So, or they turn into alcoholics because that's a big one too. In the family law thing. I was taught that and I didn't believe it at first. It's like, really? That doesn't sound like it makes much sense. It makes sense. They have to drink themselves to sleep because they care and they know that this system is broken and they feel like there's nothing they can do. Even if you're an attorney and you want to fight for these guys, if you're one of the good ones, they will turn on you in a heartbeat. They will try to smear your character and everything, because don't you dare come after this system.
They will protect their own. It's like the mob. They will protect their own. They will go to crazy lengths to make sure that everything is protected. They're not allowed to talk about certain things. They're not allowed to do whatever. That is the system. They need people. They need to know. I mean, again, when you step out in trying to do the right thing, you'd like to know that you've got a million guys standing behind you ready to fight for you, that you're not alone in this thing. I mean, Eric's doing everything he can to get the message out and to get people to, to say John Q, attorney that's has a choice to do the right thing or to do what, that was going to make him a lot of money. And this guy's like, I want to sleep at night. And I got millions of people that will vote or show up at a rally or change the narrative. And I'm going to do the right thing. I mean, that's why we need the help.
Father X on YouTube said, I did exchanges at police stations. Never once thought police would help me. Always knew police would only protect the mother. Audio recorded every pickup at the police station.
Smart man.
I mean, imagine here's a guy. He's at the police station, still feeling like he's got to record it.
He's red pilled. He red pilled that situation. He gets it. I mean, he knows. Yeah, I'm at a police station. Great. And again, I love cops. Cops are awesome. I could sit here and go down a diatribe of what police officers, what their real job is actually changed over the decades. There was a court, went to the Supreme Court. I don't want to get into that because of the show content, but this guy gets it. He knows the ultimate person that's going to protect you is you. You've got to do the smart thing, the right thing, and all that. And yeah, he gets it. And that he's has a better chance of staying alive knowing that, the police aren't going to save me. He red pilled, he gets it. Need more people that understand that. I see some comments popping up.
Oh, dude, there's several. I don't know that we're going to get through them all, guys. Harrison said, Eric, I emailed you about a divorce program in Denver, Colorado, where there is one lawyer for both parties to stop by. Guys, look,
one lawyer.
Dad Talk Today support group. Get in there. You guys talk to each other. Robert Garza, Jeff Morgan. There's several people. I'm doing everything I can just to keep this show on the air and to get your voices out there. When we get off here, we got to go set up. We got 24 hours to set up this vigil. And I can't sit around and answer emails all day long. It's not that I don't want to connect with you guys. That's what we're doing here. I mean, we've been sitting here reading comments all day long, voicemails. We do what we can. But if you don't hear back from me, don't take that personally. Make sure that you get in touch with somebody else. And that's the thing, Dwayne. We need other organizations. I would love for Dad Talk to just be the media behind the issues, rallying the troops. And now here's these attorneys that do this or whatever. Hey, go over there. You need some volunteers. There's people that need your services. You go over there. Here's somebody that works on this issue with CPS. You go over there. Your child support, you go over there. And then we just make media behind this so that we are getting the message out there, but we are also training our guys. I mean, it's like boot camp, man. I mean, you talk about building the army. We need somewhere for our guys to go to boot camp, get trained, and put them out there to help fight against this. And that's what a lot of these shows are going to start becoming. Let's give you, again, the ways to challenge the narrative. In the meantime, if there is anybody out there that wants to start heading up some of these groups, CPS needs its own thing. Child support and alimony needs its own thing. Pro se needs its own thing. Dude, I could go on and on. Custody exchange murders, false allegations, it needs its own thing. Sexual allegations, domestic violence. Where do you want to go? We can go down the rabbit hole, but every one of these need their own organization with criteria and everything to get these volunteers, get them signed up, and a plan of action. And then what happens is you build this network, right? And then when we all need to come together, they all come together. You know what that reminds me of? I'm going to go all dork out now, Dwayne. With our powers combined, Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. I was going to do the 5 lion robots combined to form one big robot. That was from Deadpool and Voltron, one of my favorite cartoon characters. But yeah, Wonder Twin powers activate. Transformers, Voltron. I mean, all those things. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, Dad. There's no way Dad Talk today can be all things to all people. I mean, it's you're handling this full time while you have a full time job and everything else. I'm helping where I can. We have,
dude. You've been putting a lot of time into this. We've been doing some longer podcasts as of lately, guys. And if these were guys that were making salaries, it would be much different. We are doing what we can, and that was not not wanting to listen to what you got to say, Harrison. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. We got to find people that when guys like you reach out, get in touch with them. They say they got resources, find out how to use them. My voice is going to be used here, trying to get the guys to use their voice. And if these guys would start these organizations, I'll promote them. I've heard it ever since I've been doing this, Dwayne. I mean, we're just pulling back the curtain. These organizations, they need to unite. They need to do this. Oh, dude, you have no idea what you're asking. You have no idea what you're asking. I mean, I did all of that when I first got here. You hear the same old things recycled in and out. At this point in time, we're going to do what we can to put a microphone to the issue and just blast it out. Yeah. That's what I want to do. And if somebody would start those organizations, get that criteria up, I know there's plenty of people that could bring their resources to the table. We should be leveraging everywhere that we can.
Yeah.
We haven't, as a community, ever been organized.
No.
That's the problem. It's not organized. It is so fractured. It's so splintered. I have people every day doing, blast this out about my organization. Blast this out about my organization. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. When's the last time you've been on Dad Talk? You want to start a new page.
Yeah. Go before you start your own org, Google and see who else has, because there are organizations for pretty much every niche area of what all this is about, and try to join there and see if you can, work with them. There are, a number of organizations out there, a number of good organizations out there, and and they all have their different things. Hey, there's Joe up there on the screen.
Hey, you just donated some stars. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, and financial contributions. I mean, at the end of the day, they're needed to keep the lights on, to get the message out. And yeah, if y'all think people are making money off of this, oh my God, I laugh because
I made $80,000 a month last year.
That much? Wow. Yeah.
It was organizations putting that out there about Dad Talk. We didn't make $80,000 last year. I mean, dude, I'm not trying to bring that, but it was a sore spot. And I was like, and then I hear people tell me all the time, you need to go talk to these guys. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with those guys, because that was outright defamation. Yeah. And if I wanted to be a really big hard ass, I could have sued the pants off of them. That was defamation. And they just wanted you guys to stop contributing in here because they want this to go away.
Right.
That's all it is.
That's crazy.
And I'll leave it there. But again, wrestle with pigs, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. They just want a response. It's just like your ex, right? I can make any allegation I want. I just got to make people think, because they got an audience. They're making money. They're doing this. I just heard it yesterday. Eric's not going to tell people how to go to Pro Se because he's making too much money on it. Where am I making money? I'm not an attorney. You guys are giving me stars. I was even naming out the donations, but people are so disconnected up here to the reality of this fight. This fight. I don't have anything to make money with. But I will tell you, if you really wanted to see this movement take off, we need that. We are going to need our people chipping in. And if everybody did a little bit, we can do a lot of things.
Yeah. $1.
So Julie said, since you started speaking out daily, the rats have been coming out more. I can only imagine. They copy everything that Dad Talk does.
Yeah. Well, yeah. People within and direct enemies and indirect enemies. Yeah. Are people. And it's like, all the groups need to come together, and it should be, who cares who gets the glory or their name. So it's about the kids. It's about the families. I mean, if we're going to fight about that, we're in certain ways no better than the bad people in this whole thing.
If you make allegations that are untrue, you are no different than the people that we talk about in family court.
Yeah.
You are no different. You are just as dangerous. And there is a lot of people that get support from what we do right here, and you want to attack it just because your face isn't on the screen. I've heard it, dude. I mean, you are no better. But anyway, we're gonna get off of that. I could go off on that, but it's just some of the battles that we face. We do need that network. We do need those organizations.
Oh, yeah.
We need to organize, guys. And it's not that people like us don't understand that or don't want to do it. We don't have it.
Right.
That's just the bottom line. We don't have it. It's not that people aren't giving everything they got. We're giving everything we got, and it still ain't enough a lot of times, man.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to continue doing that. But guys, we are 2 hours and 10 minutes into this. So I guess that is going to be a good time to cut it. I'm going to have some shows going out for you tomorrow. I'm going to have some going out the next day. They might have to be on replay for a few days, but they will be new ones. And we're going to be streaming live tomorrow night at this vigil. I mean, this is the sad thing about it. There's people that are losing their lives off of this stuff right here. These aren't stories. These are dads.
Yeah. If you want to show
It's
your
their
support,
stories, but this is real life, man.
yeah. And for the Texas folks, me being in Texas, if again, everyone says, hey, we need to get a rally, we need to get to this, here's your chance right here. You're going to have a lot of big people at it. You're gonna, the Mast family just recently said they would. Chad's wife is going to be there. Who were some of the other people? We're hoping to get that one gentleman from earlier.
I know Garza, Morgan, and all of them would be there. I think David Henderson. I was talking to David Henderson the other day, the one whose son just died of cancer. Maybe it'd be good to get him to speak out there. There's going to be several people, guys. And so I beg you to get the movement out there. And I mean, like, dude, that's a sacrifice. You know, a day to plan this and got to fly out from Idaho. Let me tell you something. Anytime you fly from out west, triple the ticket. Yeah. You think what I was going through was bad anywhere out there? Have you ever flew out west?
Oh yeah. I've been out.
Anywhere you go, you got to drive like 3 or 4 hours after you get to the airport because they have no airports in that general area.
Yeah, no.
Anytime I go to Idaho, I have to fly out of Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
Because it's like the nearest thing. But I mean, knowing that those guys are coming there to your state to fight, show up.
Yeah.
And I would beg you, bust your asses to make sure that word gets out there. We actually got to go do that right now because we got to find out where we're holding this thing.
Yeah.
So just be looking out for the information on that, and we'll get it to you guys as soon as we can. I think, Dwayne, you was going to talk about the importance of like, sharing, subscribing.
Like, share, subscribe, stars, the Patreon. Again, Dad Talk today, Cash App and Venmo. Every little bit helps. You know, a penny, $1, $10. That is all going to help, you know, defray this cost. So when we have the next thing that comes up, the next father that's murdered at a custody exchange, the next parent that's, you know, going through this, and there's an amount of money that's, you know, if we can get to the point where the lights can be kept on with some assurance, that's at Patreon level, like $5 a month or something. And we get enough people, we know those lights are gonna be on, then we can say, hey, we're guaranteed to keep the lights on. Let's look at this next notch up. And when something like this happens, we can confidently go, we're going to do this, this, and this. So it takes a lot, but yeah, like, share, subscribe, get this out to everybody. Get a hold. I think it's Jim Ross or Jeff Ross. He's the mayor of Arlington. Email him, call his office.
He needs to be there. This is your backyard.
Exactly.
You got people coming from out of state to shine a spotlight on what's going on in your city.
Yeah. Yeah. Get these people out there and show them what's going on. Again, you all voted for him. Get him out there. That's his job.
That's it. And he might be a friendly guy. We don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I would love to see. I mean, there was a father that got gunned down right there in the middle of the street. You can't show up for that. I don't know how you can tell me you care about that city and what's going on.
Yeah.
because
But-
that's at Christmas time.
Yeah.
At Christmas time.
Call the
All
mayor.
right, guys, we are going to get off of here. Thank you for joining us. Man, we've been doing some good episodes here lately.
I know this has been awesome.
Keep the voicemails coming, guys. 762-441-0281. We will see you next time.